Actress Keira Knightley made headlines a few days ago when she was asked a horrible question, to be honest, by a woke activist reporter who was trying to get her in a gotcha moment. And you know what? For the transgender mob, maybe they do feel like this is a gotcha, but for the 99% of normal people in the world, they feel like she answered pretty spot on. Keira Knightley reacts to J.K. Rowling boycott after joining Harry Potter project. The fact that we're still talking about this as a legitimate boycott is wild. The woke freaks who have been boycotting J.K. Rowling have done nothing. They have made no impact. The sales for the books continue to go up. The merchandise continues to go up. It's as popular as it's ever been. They have failed over and over and over again. Yet activist reporters tried to get her in a gotcha question. And it didn't go well for that reporter. And we'll play this again to remind people of what Keira Knightley's reaction exactly was. It was simply kind of laughing it off and saying, nope, she wasn't aware of a boycott, and said, you know, we all live in this world together and we have to find a way to get along and have respect. That's it. And that set off a nuclear bomb amongst the transgender community, especially over on Blue Sky. Blue Sky melts down over Keira Knightley's call for respect after J.K. Rowling question. And it's not like there was no people on Twitter that got upset. There were some freaks that got mad on Twitter as well. But let's remind everyone of what Keira Knightley said, how she responded to this horrible question, a trap question by this reporter.
Saw you're voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given J.K. Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry. I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
That was it. Now, this is not an interview talking about Harry Potter, talking about the audiobook. This is to promote her new movie, right? Which I believe is on Netflix. I think it's The Girl in Cabin 10. Is that or The Woman in Cabin 10? I think it's over on Netflix. That's what this was about. So this is a trap question, the way she phrased it, for a boycott of given J.K. Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people, says this freak activist reporter. Well, look at how the kind people, the people that just want respect, look at how they responded to this. The Bluey place is melting down. Possibly one of, if not the worst response I've seen from anyone involved in the Harry Potter franchise. What the fuck was that laugh about? Wow, I went from having no opinions on her, barely knowing about her, to knowing she's a disgusting person. Wonderful. I hope someone strews Legos on every path she will ever walk. After seeing her reaction, I would be surprised if she's a TERF herself. Now, to remind people, because not everyone might be aware what a TERF is, it stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist, right? That is the thing that's been labeled on people. People who are feminists and people who believe in women's rights, but they don't count men pretending to be women as part of their club, right? That's what that acronym means. Keira Knightley can get fucked, and I think I'm being far more respectful to her than she is to trans people. Well, this is the thing. What about this is offensive? What about her response? Hey, are you aware of this little tiny group of freaks that are trying to boycott something? No, I wasn't aware. I sarcastically says, I'm very sorry, and then laughs and says, I think we're living in a time where we all just have to figure out how to get along and have respect for each other. That is all she said. And these people are acting like she just called for their public execution or something. That's how the transgender mafia reacts to anyone that doesn't bend the knee and give them exactly what they want. Fuck J.K. Rowling and any actor helping her to line her evil pockets. Shame on Keira Knightley, Kit Harington, John Lithgow, etc. You profane ignorance of the boycott, and we all just have to get along attitude is appalling. Profane ignorance? Maybe, just maybe. You tiny fraction of people don't actually matter. Considering that your boycott has done nothing. Hogwarts Legacy, you tried to boycott that. It became one of the highest selling games we've seen in the past several years. The Harry Potter franchise continues to sell more and more and more than it ever has in history. Your boycott doesn't work. Maybe that's why no one knows about it. Fuck Keira Knightley. Fuck her into the sun. The fucking laugh. What the fuck? Oh, the fury inside of me right now. Well, when there's transgender fury, there might be transgender violence. So maybe that is something to keep an eye out. What kind of cis white privilege bullshit is that? Fuck off! They're They're having a meltdown. Over on Twitter, we saw similar stuff. She's genuinely a horrible person. Wow. It'd be nice if you wanted to figure out how to live together with us too, Keira. Really sad you never knew how many of us under 30 grew up looking at your film characters, cultural symbols of femininity and strength. If you want to talk about finding respect. Maybe men cosplaying as women doesn't have anything to do with femininity. Maybe there's that to consider. All these people have fucking Palestine flags in their bio. The crossover between transgender activists and Palestine supporters is weird because if you went over there, you'd be dead in a heartbeat. Like that's just the truth. It's so strange. The tone, the laugh, the blatant lie that she wasn't aware. Ugh. Zoe Rose Bryan. Oh, gosh. Yeah, this quote's killing me because, like, Rowling and everyone on her side doesn't want us to live at all. LMAO. Bro, most people, here's the truth. Most people don't much care what some random person that they don't know want to do with their life. If you want to mutilate yourself, whatever. I might not agree with the lifestyle, but it probably doesn't matter. It's when it starts affecting everyone. It's when you start making these pushes for everyone to call you exactly what you want them to call you. When you start making these pushes to be present in all these women's spaces. When you start getting access to bathrooms and locker rooms, or maybe even in prisons, where men are pretending to be women and using that as a position of power to abuse women. Maybe it's when this stuff starts getting pushed on little children and you demand that little children get this stuff pushed on them in schools, through all entertainment. Maybe these are times when people start to speak up. Maybe that's when some people start to push back on some of this stuff. Okay? This is wild. And it was all because Keira Knightley gave a pretty reasonable response to ludicrous, ridiculous shit from trans activists. And really, Keira Knightley, I don't think she's responded to this yet. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll feel the need to bow down to some of the pressure that these freaks are applying. But this is the way you handle this stuff. You laugh it off. You don't desperately try to virtue signal. You don't try to appease them. You just laugh it off and move on with your life. And hopefully that's what Keira Knightley continues to do, because as we've seen, if all these people want to say cancel Keira Knightley, boycott Keira Knightley, shockingly, they don't have a very big impact. We've seen that time and time again. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.